So in ships at sea, you currently have three classifications, three different types of boats. You have service, fishing, and cargo. And at this stage of the early access development, there are three tiers. And the boats you can see on screen are all of the tier 3 boats that are available. So what we're going to do in this video is go through how to make easy money with each of these boats. And then what we're going to do is I'll give you a full demonstration of the best money you can make with any of these boats. So we're going to start on the right hand side with the Scomcat. It's the service boat. It's going to cost you around 50 million krone, and it's able to take extra small and small cargo. You can have 4 crew on there, even though crew's not in the game at this current time. And I'm going to say this is the worst of the boats in terms of actually doing missions and earning money. The reason for that is because the service jobs that pop up are incredibly rare. You can't take them from a port or anything like that. You have to just wait until these missions dynamically spawn in, and they can take a very, very long time. And not only that, most of the missions, because you're supposed to be able to do whale watching and stuff, most of the missions I've seen pop up are towing boats and putting out boat fires. And for some reason, on the Scomcat, when I go to interact with the thing at the back of the boat to tow another boat, it doesn't come up with the option to move closer to another boat. So I'm not sure if it's even possible to tow boats with the Scomcat. And then to put out a boat fire, there is no way to rig it with a cannon. If I actually go on the boat now, I'll make it my active. If we go to its upgrades, there's no rigging at all on this. I think this is more of a passenger sort of boat for whale watching and things like that. However, as I said, the spawns are really infrequent and a little bit all over the place. You can do your engine upgrade and things like that. So out of the three, I would say the Scomcat is by far the worst. The best way to make money with that is to probably actually take some cargo to different ports. And then you're not going to earn money, but the thing this, the absolute best for is working towards your new licenses, because this has a max speed of 30 knots when you get the engine upgrade. Even though with that upgrade it will travel at around 35 knots. And that's going to be really, really good for traveling. And if we quickly go to tab, in order to get your upgraded certificates, you need to travel a certain amount. So to go from amateur, which is what you'll start at, you'll need to go 150 kilometers to go to junior, then from 150 up to 300 to get your senior certificate, then from 300 to 600 for the next one, which I believe will unlock the ability for tier 4 boats when they're in the game. Because with your amateur, you're only allowed tier 1. You go up to your junior certificate, you can buy the tier 2 boats if you've got the money. Then with your senior, you can buy the tier 3s. So out of the three, I would say the Scomcat is by far the worst, unless you are travelling a lot. And it's only good then because it's got the speed. Then moving on to the turbo, the fishing boat. If you have a look where it says supported rigging, it says longline and production purse sane. Now, sane fishing or sane net fishing is not currently in the game as far as I am aware. So the only thing you can do on this is longline. But I'm going to say this is really, really good for longline fishing, because you can use the 2500 hook longline buckets and you can have 20 of them on board. You can actually set up 2 at a time, even though you can't use 2 at a time. You deploy one, then you're going to have the second one there and ready to go. But on top of the long line, dropping your long lines and then going and retrieving them, you also have to put the fish into a bleeding tank, then send it through the production line downstairs. You have to gut the fish, and then you also need to send it through and sort it into boxes. You get a halibut, a pollock, and a cod box. Then there's one for mixed species, like your catfish, your haddock, so on and so forth. So in terms of making money, the turbo is decent. But it is going to take you quite a while to get those long lines dropped, and if it's rough seas, it can make it quite awkward. And then because there's currently no crew in the game, it takes a little bit longer than it maybe should, but it is a good time, and it does make decent money. I did 1-2 long line haul with this and made 700 grand. So if you was to multiply that by 10 and I did all 20, you could be looking at somewhere around 7 million. So the turbo is decent, however the only thing you can do with it at the moment is longline. And then we have the Nordland, a cargo boat, and this is fantastic. I'm going to say for earning money, by far the best boat in the game. So you'll see it's a 27 meter cargo boat that carries extra small, medium and large with a max speed of 14 knots. This bad boy is going to set you back 64.5 million krone to get your hands on it. And you'll see supported rigging is cargo crane 2 or a medium smolt tank. So when it comes to transporting cargo on this, you can take a lot of cargo at one time. When it comes to the large goods, you'll probably fit a good 12 to 15, possibly more if you're really neat with your organising. When it comes to the medium, around the same, if not a tiny bit more. It depends on the cargo types you've got. And if you're only going to one port, you're never going to take on that many jobs anyway. And then when it comes to the small and extra small, you can absolutely pack this thing up to the brim. And an example of how much you can pack it, when I was using the roster, which is the tier 1 boat, you could maybe fit, let's just say it's all extra small cargo, you could possibly fit 24 on there. If you stick 24 bits of extra small cargo on the Nordland, you've probably still got space for around another 100 items or something. It's crazy how big that cargo deck is. But with it being a cargo boat, it's not actually going to make you the most money doing the cargo missions. You are going to make a lot more money a lot faster doing fish farming. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to put the second crane on. If we make it our active boat, I did already have this one set up, but then I showed you the Scomcat. And yeah, it's going to have reset my positioning. But with the medium smolt tank, I've got all the upgrades and stuff on it. What we are going to do is we're going to go and make, I'm going to say, a very quick 68 million krone. And you'll see I currently have 13 million. So what we need to do is I actually need to turn this around again because the crane that I need to use is on the other side. Unfortunately, you can't rig it with a medium smolt tank and the second crane. It always has to be one or the other. But what we're going to do is head to the shop. We are going to fill up that smolt tank. So if we come into shop, we go buy smolt. We're going to spend 1 million buying 100,000. Then in terms of the fish food, to do a full cycle and earn 68 million, we need 6,234 kilos. So I'm going to buy 7 of these. Even though I already have like 700 odd in my fish farm, I'm going to buy 7 just so that I can show you the process of doing 7, which is what you'll need to do for your very first time. You will also need to buy a fish farm, which is going to be the closest ones to Ross are the ones down here. And they're going to set you back 500,000 each. I've got the 2 at the end. But if we jump on board, you'll see the size of this cargo deck. You can place cargo in this entire yellow box area. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go up to the bridge. I'm going to jump on board, going to start driving. And we are going to spin it around so that I can use the crane and load up those 7 bags of food. So now we are docked. I have taken a little bit of damage setting this all up. It's just lucky repairs are very cheap. What we're now going to do is we are going to extend the crane. We're going to pick up these bags of fish food. If it's going to let me attach, there we go. And yeah, this entire cargo deck can be filled up with whatever cargo you want to stick on it. So that's our first one done. I'm going to get all 7 of these loaded, and then we're going to make our way down to the fish farm. So now we've got all 7 bags loaded. You'll see I've got 3 here. Like, you'll basically be able to see just how big this cargo deck actually is. So yeah, for cargo missions, it's a very, very good boat to use. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice little trip down to the fish farm. So if I show you on the map quickly, no, I think I've broken the game. There we go. If we just come all the way around here, avoiding all the land, we get to this fish farm. It's a tight squeeze when we get here because of how big this boat is. But it is possible. You can do it. So I'll see you guys when we get to the fish farm. So we have made it down to the fish farms. And if we go onto land, open up the console, you see I've got like 766 kilos of food in here already. But what we're going to do is add our 100,000 smolt. So we've now got a 100,000 salmon in there. And what we need to do is we need to fill up this feeder. So if I turn the engine on, normally what you'd have to do in a tier 1 or a tier 2 boat is like you'd have to board your boat, you'd have to grab 50 kilos, you'd have to leave the boat, you'd have to climb the ladder, put the fish food in, drop down the ladder, back on your boat, grab another bag, do it over and over again. 20 times with each of these bags. So altogether 140 runs. But with this tier 3, what you can do, and they are going to be sorting it out, by the time you guys see this video, they could have already sorted it so that you can just automatically take food off any boat. But what we can do currently with this tier 3 is we can grab a bag, and what we're going to do is just hover the bag by the feeder. So if I put it maybe about there, if we jump off, we can go and stand at the top of the ladder, and now all we do is we grab 50 kg from the bag, we just turn around and place it in here. So it's nice and easy to fill this bad boy up. So what I'm going to do is get all 7,000 kilos of the food in here, and I will see you guys when I'm on the last couple of bags. So we have just a couple of bags left, then we are done with the whole lot. And this takes between 7 and 10 minutes. It really does not take long to fill that up. And what I'm going to do is just move the crane out of the way very quickly. And then if we come off that, we leave, we go to the console. We've now got 7766. And they're going to start on 300 kilo daily consumption, but it goes up every day. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stay here, docked, and we're going to just keep resting for 24 hours at a time. If I show you the first 24 hours, here we go there, and we rest all the way to 24 hours. Then we come back out here, we go and check on their status, and you'll see they have started growing. They're up to 150,000 weight, and their daily consumption's gone up to 450. So what we're going to do is just rest for 24 hours until they are 7 kilos. So it should be a few days. And now after 5 days, they are at stage 7, but we want them to go to stage 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to rest again, but I like doing it for 5.8 hour increments. So if we come down here after 5.8 hours, they're still stage 7, so we come up and do it again. And now it's quite difficult to see because it's pitch black, but we need to do it one more time, which should also give us a little bit of daylight as well. So we got 5.8 hours, and it's getting light outside. Well, it's pretty much middle of the day, even though it's only just gone 5:30 in the morning. And now they are stage 8, so 8 kilos. They are worth the most amount of money, and we've still got 1,500 kilos of food in there. But you'll see, sell price 68 million. So if I sell the fish just by clicking there, I'm now up to just shy of 80 million krone again. And now we are done with the fish farm. We can turn off the engine, and there's food and stuff left over, so that when I buy some more smolt, I've got less fish food to transfer down to here or transport on the boat. So yeah, when it comes to the tier 3 boats in ships at sea, you've got a decent selection. They're going to be working on tier 4 and tier 5, so there's more in the game. They're obviously still going through early access. But when it comes to the tier 3 boats, the service boat, I'm going to say, is by far the worst, unless you are going for distance travelled for your certificates. Then when it comes to the fishing boat, it's decent for money and it's decent for XP. It's kind of like an average. And when it comes to the Nordland, the tier 3 cargo boat is the most expensive in the game at 64.5 million, but it is also the best in the game. Not only because you can come and do the fish farm, use the crane and feed the fish a lot easier, but also if you are doing those cargo missions, you can take a lot of cargo on this deck, and you're also going to get a lot of XP doing that as well. So this boat is good for XP, and it's the best in the game for quick money, because it takes around half an hour to do a full fish farm run. That includes loading and unloading all the food and everything like that. So it's 136 million. We'll say over 130 million krone per hour using this boat. But that was a look at how to make easy money in tier 3 boats in ships at sea, and we are going to leave that video there, so I will see you guys in the next one.